Shavua Tov, a gute Woche, Mo'adim L'Simcha, and a good and happy and healthy and sweet year, Lonu L'Chol Yisrael. It's already after the first 2 days of Sukkot, and we are preparing, during the Chol HaMoed, we are preparing for Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. In Eretz Yisrael, Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah is 1 day, next Shabbos, and in Chutz La'aretz, Shmini Atzeres is Shabbos, and Simchas Torah is Sunday. And the Rebbe mentions very strongly that Shmini Atzeres is a day connected with Mashiach. And why is that? Because Shmini, the number 8, is a Mashiach number. The Rebbe brings the Rashba, where the Rashba says that the 7 days of creation are the Shivas Yimei HaHekev, the 7 days of the cycle, and then there's the 8th day. The 8th day is the Shomer HaHekev, the guardian of the cycle, and that is the day of Mashiach, and therefore the number 8 is very significant. That's a Mashiach number, which is Shmini Atzeres. On Shmini Atzeres, there's a question. We go for Hakofos. But there is a question that arguably, before we dance with the Torah, before we rejoice with the Torah, we should sit down and learn the Torah. First, we learn the Torah for a few hours, and then we dance with the Torah. But that's not the minhag. The minhag is we dance with the Torah when the Torah is closed, not when the Torah is open, with a mantele, with the garment on top of the Torah. So there must be a special reason for that. We will return to that in a moment, and to the special significance of Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah, because it mirrors Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But first, our customary story or stories has to do with Shmini Atzeres. It has to do with Shmini Atzeres in the year Tovshin Lamed Ches, when the Rebbe went through a medical issue. The Rebbe came out to Hakofos at 9:30, as he always does, and he encouraged the singing, like he always does. And the first Hakofos, he danced with the Rashag, as he always does. The second Hakofos, he encouraged the singing. The third Hakofos, he encouraged the singing, although a little less. In the middle of the fourth Hakofos, the Rebbe turned to Rabbi Groner and he said, "Give me my benkel, give me my chair." In the middle of Hakofos, the Rebbe sat down, and everybody understood that there's something. They brought the Rebbe water. The Rebbe was very pale, and the Rebbe did not refuse to drink the water. They asked everybody immediately to leave the shul because you need air. And most everybody, thousands of people, left the shul. There were maybe 100 people left in shul, so there was more air to breathe. And the fifth Hakofos was very fast. There was a very little encouragement, and the same thing with the sixth. The seventh Hakofos, the Rebbe insisted on going out to dance with his brother-in-law, with the Rashag. And the Rebbe went out, although a little slower, and the doctors were there already. The Rebbe put his right hand on the arm of the Rashag. The Rashag put his right hand, and they danced. The Rashag made sure they danced for only 1 minute. After 1 minute, the Rashag stopped it. He stopped the dancing because he realized the condition of the Rebbe. The Rebbe went back to his place, and after Ma'ariv, the Rebbe said Gut Yontiv, although not very strong. The Rebbe went into his room, and these are not all the details, but these are some of the details that we know. And then he went into the sukkah. By the time he went into the sukkah, the Rebbetzin was there, and there were some doctors who were there in the sukkah with the Rebbetzin, with the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin. And the Rebbe was going to make Kiddush. Somebody suggested the Rebbe should make Kiddush on grape juice. So the Rebbe said very strongly, Kiddush macht man auf Wein, nicht auf grape juice. And he made Kiddush on wine. It's not for us to say, Rabbi said, but what you see here, that the Rebbe did not give in to anything. They brought the Rebbe water. Was there a question whether the Rebbe was allowed to drink the water? The Shaila of Pekuach Nefesh, no question at all. But the Rebbe would not drink anything. It was Shmini Atzeres outside of the sukkah. The Chabad minhag is not to drink anything, even water, outside of the sukkah. The Rebbe went in to make Kiddush. Was there a question that the Rebbe could have made Kiddush on grape juice in a case like this? It's Pekuach Nefesh. It's not even a question. It's not a question of a Hiddur, it's not a question at all. But the Rebbe did not give in to anything. And he made Kiddush on wine. Then he washed, and he had a piece of challah and a piece of fish, and the Rebbe benched, and the Rebbe went into his room. Of course, they called the doctors, and there was already doctors before, and they say that the Rebbe they gave the Rebbe a needle for sleeping, and the Rebbe slept for 4 hours. The Rebbetzin later said that she doesn't remember her husband sleeping for 4 hours in a row. That night, because of the medication they gave the Rebbe slept for 4 hours. And in the middle, I think Dr. Richter was there. It was like 4:30 in the morning. They realized that there is a second heart attack. They saw it on the monitor. And the second heart attack was stronger than the first one. And they wanted to take the Rebbe in this condition, in his sleeping condition, to the hospital, because they felt it's a question of Pekuach Nefesh. But they were afraid to do that, because before that, one of the doctors told the Rebbe that he should listen to him, because he says, in everything else you're the Rebbe, but here I'm a doctor. So the Rebbe said to him, you don't know all the details, so therefore it's difficult for you to make a medical decision. And when he told the Rebbe that they should take the Rebbe to the hospital, the Rebbe said something that, like, here is the Kedesh HaKadoshim, the Holy of Holies, and the refuah is going to come from here, not from the hospital. And the Rebbe refused to go to the hospital. Now the Rebbe is in sleeping condition, and they asked the Rebbetzin if they should take the Rebbe in sleeping condition to the hospital, because this attack is stronger than the other one. And the Rebbetzin answered that my husband said that he doesn't want to go to the hospital. She is not going to overrule him. B'shum even not. Baruch Hashem, there was a great recuperation. I heard from Rabbi Groner that later the Rebbe asked one of the doctors, can I make plans for the next 5 years? And the doctor said yes. And the Rebbe continued, can I make plans for the next 10 years? Heard this from Rabbi Groner. And the doctor said yes. And the Rebbe continued, can I make plans for the next 15 years? And the doctor said yes. More, the Rebbe did not ask. You can do the math. Rabbi say concerning Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah, the Rebbe brings from the previous Rebbe that the minhag is that we dance with the Torah when the Torah is in a mentala. In the mentala means in the garment. We don't open the Torah to learn. We dance when the Torah is closed. And what's the significance of that? The significance of that is that this is not related to how much Torah we learned. Whether we learned or we didn't learn, we could have learned more, this is not related to that. This here we are rejoicing with the essence of the Torah, which is higher than the quantity that we learned. They tell the story, the Rebbe doesn't bring it, but it's a very interesting story, that in a town in Lita, they danced Simchas Torah. So they danced together. There was one Jew who was a Lamdan, the other Jew was an Amhoritz. So the Lamdan, that's how the story goes. The Lamdan says to the Amhoritz, I don't understand what you're dancing about. I am dancing because I learned the Torah. So I know what the Torah is all about. I'm rejoicing with the Torah. But I don't understand what you are dancing about. Well, you have nothing, you didn't learn. So what do you... And that's how the story goes. So he answered him, and he says, tell me, when your brother marries off his daughter, do you dance? He didn't exactly understand where this man was going. He says, of course. Why? Because it's your brother's daughter. So when my friends learn Torah and they rejoice in the Torah, we're all brothers. So I dance together with them. Which is for the moment a very nice answer to a question that was not very pleasant, but a very pleasant answer. Nevertheless, it's deeper than that. That Jew answered very well. But it's more that he is dancing on his friend's simcha. He's dancing on his simcha. Because the Torah is his, the one who did not learn belongs to him just as much as it belongs to the Lamdan. That's why we do not open the Torah and learn. It's in a closed Torah because this is beyond our learning and beyond our understanding. This is a connection that every single Jew, independent of how much you learn Torah, if he wants to make a decision that for next year he'll learn more Torah, that's his decision. But for now, Torah is his like anyone else's. So therefore, he can rejoice in the Torah. And Zman Simchoseinu, the Alter Rebbe mentions it, and the Nisi Chabad spoke about it all the time. Simchoseinu means our simcha. What does our mean? The simple pshat in our means is the simcha of the Jews. We rejoice on Simchas Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. The deeper pshat is our simcha, the simcha of God and the Jews and God together. So this is a special simcha. Rabbi said we go to Hakofos. What does Hakofos mean? The simple pshat of Hakofos means circles. You circle with the Torah around the bima, which is the pshat of Hakofos. There is a deeper pshat in Hakofos, an esoteric pshat. Hakofos means credit. Until this very day, it's used for credit. Lakachti et ze b'chanut behakafa. I took it in the grocery store on credit. Sometimes I pay and sometimes I don't have any money, whatever. So I took it in the grocery store, behakafa, on credit. Hakafot means credit. What kind of credit are we talking about? Everybody has an account with Almighty God. And He's giving us credit. Credit of life, credit of health, credit of children, and so on. What happens if somebody, but credit you have to pay. What happens if you don't have the money to pay? So there are different ways that different people will choose. One, they make themselves nishvisendik. The bank sends them a notice, and they don't answer, and the bank sends another notice, and then the bank takes action, which is generally not the right way to go. There's another way where you confront it, and you say to the bank, listen, I'm going through difficult times. However, I can see the future, things are going to get better. So therefore, I am going to pay, but I need a little more time for my credit. And generally, by and large, if the bank see that you are honest about it, they will let you, because they're also interested in working with you. So when we come to Almighty God and we say, Rebbeinu Shalom, we need some credit. Yes, we understand. This year maybe wasn't the best. I didn't do what I could have done. I could have done much better, and everybody can do a little better. But Rebbeinu Shalom, from now on, I'm going to try to improve. So I'm asking you, seal us for a good year. On Yom Kippur, and again now, seal us for a good year. And in Mirat Hashem, we will improve our ways. And Almighty God gives us the credit. We have, Baruch Hashem, a good Father. Nasha Batska Dobri, there's a song, Chot Shmichudi, the Rebbe would ask my father to sing it sometimes, and the Rebbe explained what it means. Although Chudi means bad, Nasha Batska Dobri, the boss is good. Almighty God is good, and He gives us the credit. All we have to do is ask, and ask seriously, and then we get the credit. And it says in Chassidus, that the 48 hours, and that's it's even less, it's 24 hours, because Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah is together, is the same thing as Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And Rosh Hashanah, 48 hours, and you have to cherish every moment, and you can get everything that you ask for on Rosh Hashanah, you can get on Sukkot. You can get on Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. The only thing is, Rosh Hashanah, you get it by crying, by supplication, and on Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah, you get it by dancing. So you get everything you need. Everything that you ask for in the Rebbe Almighty, God has, and He will give you. You get everything. And it's known in the days of the Tzemach Tzedek. Tzemach Tzedek was the Rebbe after the Mittel Rebbe, but he was the son-in-law of the Mittel Rebbe. So in the days before his Nesias, he would dance tremendously for a long time on Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. And the same thing is with the Rebbe. When he was the son-in-law of the previous Rebbe, everybody knows he would dance a lot, all of Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. So all of the matters that we gain, that we achieve on the Rosh Hashanah, on the 48 hours of Rosh Hashanah, by supplication and prayer and tears, we achieve it now through Simcha. So these are very, very important days, and every moment is to be cherished. The Rebbe also brings from the previous Rebbe that the Sefer Torah wants to dance. But the Sefer Torah can't dance. How can a Sefer Torah dance? For dancing, you need legs, you need feet, you need legs. The Sefer Torah don't have any legs. So what happens on Simchas Torah and Shmini Atzeres, that there is a fusion between the Jew and Sefer Torah. The Jew takes the Sefer Torah in his arm and he dances. So he, the Jew, becomes the legs of the Sefer Torah. And it says, the legs are taking the head to where the head wants to go, that without the legs, the head can't get there. So there is a special mila in the legs. So we are becoming the legs of the Sefer Torah. Says the Rebbe, wait a minute. If we go to that analysis, that we are the legs of the Sefer Torah, so the Sefer Torah is the head. If the Sefer Torah is the head, so then we have to conduct ourselves in accordance to what the Sefer Torah wants. So that's the commitment of Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah, and we do it through Simcha, and then we get all the blessings, Bebone, Chaye, Umzeine, Reviche, all the blessings that we need. Bone means children, and Nachas from children, and Sheduchim from children, and children from children. Chaye means life, and the extension of life, good health, because that's what we want. We not just want life to survive. We want life that we should be able to take care of all, to take advantage of everything that life offers, which is, we're asking for good health. Everybody understands good sustenance, good padnosa, great padnosa, and the Rebbe always says, again, great sustenance and everything, great boneb, great chaya, great mezena. We get all this by dancing on Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. And as the Rebbe said so many times, Ki v'simcha seitzeyu. With the simcha, you will get out of Golus. So let this simcha of Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah continue from this simcha, weil min allein tanzen, will dance in to the Gulu HaMitis v'Ashlimu. Uvagolo didanu v'simcha uv'tuv livovu v'teva nira v'aniglo u'lamato me'asor ha'tvachim uv'chesed uv'rachamim v'teikef u'miyad mamesh.